Stages of wound healing. Definition: wound healing refers to the body's replacement of destroyed tissue by living tissue. It can be achieved by two processes: tissue regeneration and scar formation. And dynamic balance between these two is different in different tissues. Introduction. During healing, a complex cascade of cellular events occur to achieve resurfacing, reconstitution and restoration of tensile strength of injured tissue. And the wound healing occurs in three phases: inflammatory phase, proliferative phase and remodeling phase. Here you can see the stages of wound healing. First is the bleeding phase, so the blood clot occurs. Second, inflammatory phase, it's the formation of fibroblast, macrophage, blood vessel. And the third one is proliferating. Here only the fibroblast started proliferating and formation of subcutaneous fat. And in remodeling there will be freshly healed epidermis and freshly healed dermis. First one is inflammatory phase. It will be start from 2 to 5 days. There will be hemostasis, vasoconstriction, constriction of blood vessels. The damaged blood vessels started constrictor. Hemostasis are achieved by formation of platelet plug and activation of extrinsic and intrinsic clotting pathways. And there will be formation of provisional fibrin matrix, recruitment of inflammatory cells into the wound by potent chemoattractants. Early events in inflammation. Fibrin and fibronectin form a lattice that provides scaffold for migration of inflammatory endothelial and mesenchymal cells. And neutrophilic infiltrates appears. It will be usually remove dead tissue and prevent further infection. Monocytes and macrophages follow neutrophils, orchestrated production of growth factors and phagocytosis. Late events in inflammation, it's two things occur: entry of lymphocytes and appearance of mast cells. Second one is proliferative phase. It will be start from 2 days to last for 3 weeks. There will be granulation tissue formation, angiogenesis and contraction that the wound edges pull together to reduce the defect, and formation of epithelialization. Epithelial cells migrate across the new tissue to form a barrier between the wound and the environment. Mesenchymal cell proliferation. So here fibroblasts are the major mesenchymal cells involved in wound healing, and smooth muscle cells are also involved, but 90% involved is the fibroblast. And the macrophages also produce an hemotaxic for fibroblast, that is PDGF, EGF, TGF, IL-1 and lymphocytes, and replacement of provisional fibrin matrix with a type through collagen. Coming to the angiogenesis. Angiogenesis mainly reconstruct vasculature in areas damaged by wound healing, and it's stimulated by high lactic acid, acidic pH, decreased oxygen tension in tissues, recruitment and assembly of bone marrow derived progenitor cells by cytokines is the central theme. And EGF-1 is most potent angiogenetic stimulant identified. The heparin. Heparin is one of the anticoagulant, is also an important cofactor. TGF alpha, beta, prostaglandins also stimulate. Coming to the epithelialization, it's a basal cell layer thickening, elongation, detachment and migration via interaction with ECM proteins via integrin mediators. And there will be generation of provisional BM, which includes fibronectin, collagens type 1 and 3. And there will be formation of epithelial cells, contributes new cells of monolayer. It will conduct inhibition when edges come together. Remodeling phase. So start from 3 weeks to 2 years. Here the formation of new collagen, which increases the tensile strength of wound. 19 types identified: type 1 80 to 90%, most common found in all tissue. The primary collagen is a healed wound. Type 3 10 to 20% seen in early phases of wound healing. Type 5 smooth muscle, type 2 11 cartilage and type 4 in BM. Continuation of remodeling. The number of intra and intermolecular cross links between collagen fibers increases dramatically. There will be a major contributor to the increase in wound breaking strength. The quantity of type 3 collagen decreases and it will be replaced by type 1 collagen. And remodeling continues for 12 months and there will be so scar revision should not be done prematurely. So wound contraction. Wound contraction, that is a contraction of wound, start from 4 to 5 days after wounding by action of myofibroblast and generally occurs in large surface wounds, represents centripetal movements of wound edge towards the center. So the wound contraction start from edges and move towards the center of the wound. And maximal contraction occurs for 12 to 15 days, although it will continue longer if wound remains open. The wound edges move toward each other at an average rate of 0.6 to 0.75 mm per day. Wound contraction depends on, so the wound contraction will be differ from person to person, and some person the wound contraction will be very fast when we are comparing to other. So it will be highly depends on laxity of tissues and depend upon the area where exactly the person having the wound. So the wound will contract faster than a wound on the scalp or peritibial area. So the wound shape also a factor. Square is faster than circular. Wound strength. Skin wounds. At the end of first week, wound strength is approximately 10% of unwounded skin. And wound strength increases rapidly over next 4 weeks and then slows down at approximately a third month. Reaches a plateau of about 70 to 80% of the tensile strength of unwounded skin. And the scar tissue never as strong as the original tissue. Important growth factors responsible for wound healing: 2 things: platelet derived growth factor and epidermal growth factor. And platelet derived growth factor, mainly it will promote migration and proliferation of fibroblasts, and epidermal growth factor, it promotes growth of endothelial, epithelial cells and fibroblast. And growth factors in wound healing: fibroblast growth factor, it promotes synthesis of ECM proteins including fibronectin, chemotactic for fibroblast and endothelial cells, and it also promotes angiogenesis. Vascular endothelial growth factor, it causes angiogenesis. Macrophage derived growth factor, IL-1 and TNF, promotes proliferation of fibroblast and endothelial cells. Coming to the wound healing. Wound healing is accomplished in one of the following 2 ways. So the healing by first intention, that is the primary union, and healed by secondary intention, that is the secondary union. Healing by first intention. So the cleaning by first intention occur in the clean incised wound. So mainly the first intention is occurred in the surgical wound. So the surgical wound is considered as a clean wound. So it will be healed by first intention because the incision causes only a focal disruption of epithelial basement membrane continuity and death of a relatively few epithelial and connective tissue cells. As a result, epithelial regeneration predominates over fibrosis. Here you can see the healing by first intention, that is the sequence of events. So immediate, the narrow incisional phase occurs, rapidly fills with fibrin clotted blood and started dehydration at the surface, produces a scab to cover and protect the healing repair site. So what is happening within 24 hours? There will be movement of epithelial cells across wound. The moment of proliferation epithelial cells across the wound, resulting in a thin but continuous epithelial layer. Here only early inflammation close to the edges, so the formation of neutrophils. And 2 to 3 days there will be formation of epithelial growing across, and that is caused due to increased mitotic activity. Neutrophils replaced by macrophages. Macrophages remove the blood clot, proliferation of epithelial cells formation, and the fibroblastic started active. 10 to 14 days, scab loose formation, epithelial covering complete, fibrous union of edges, wound still weak, and finally there will be vascularization formation. By the end of first month. So scarf comprises of a cellular connective tissue devoid of inflammatory infiltrate covered by intact epidermis, and the dermal appendages destroyed in the line of incision are permanently lost. So at last the tensile strength of the wound increases. Next is the healing by second intention. This occurs mainly in open wound, particularly there is significant loss of tissue and mainly a large wound necrosis and irregular margins. So regeneration of parenchymal cells cannot completely reconstitute the original architecture. Abundant granulation tissue grows and form the margin to complete the repair. And here the granulation tissue consists of ECM fibroblast, macrophages, neutrophils and new blood vessels. You can see the healing by second intention, that is the sequence of events. So at the early stage, what is happening here, you can see the center, the cavity fills with the blood and fibrin clot, and at the edges there will be acute inflammation commences at junction of living tissue. A few days, so scab dries off and the mitotic activity in epithelium, and it is causing a formation of a single sheet of epithelial cells and it being pushed between the surface debris and the underlying living tissue. And here you can see the contraction of wound size due to the action of myofibroblast at edges, and new capillary loops bring macrophages, neutrophils and fibroblast. So at 1 week what is happening? The scab shed off, epithelial proliferation and capillary loops and loose connective tissue formed by microfibroblast. And the 2 weeks onwards, the epithelial covering will be completed and only fewer cells remain, collagen arranged transversely, capillaries less prominent. A month after, full thickness of epithelial restored, varying depth of surface depression and thick collagenous scar tissue becoming less vasculature. And sometimes secondary union differs from primary union in several respects. So here you can see the different ways of healing and the wound contraction. Inflammatory reaction is more intense, large amount of granulation tissue formation, larger scar, wound contraction, myofibroblast, modified fibroblast with a feature of SMC. Defect is significantly decreases in size as wound heals. Factors that influence healing classified as systemic and local. So the two factors which is influencing the healing. Here you can see the systemic factors that delay or retard wound healing. First one is the nutrition. So nutrition mainly it is caused due to a protein deficiency, vitamin C deficiency and an inhibition of collagen synthesis and even zinc deficiency. And in metabolic status, mainly the patient those who are having diabetes mellitus, there will be the hastening of wound healing will be delayed. And the circulatory status, if the particular area doesn't have a proper blood supply, that is mainly due to atherosclerosis or vascular defects. And even mainly the hormones like glucocorticoid inhibit collagen synthesis and decrease inflammation. Local factors that delay or retard wound healing. First one is infection. So the infection mainly delay wound healing, and the mechanical factors like motion early in healing and foreign material like presence of suture material and foreign bodies, and even the size, location and type of wound also play an important role in wound healing. And wounds in increased vascularized area like face healed faster than in the poorly vascular areas like tendon and feet, and small wounds heal faster than larger. Complications of wound healing: deficient scar formation, excessive formation of repair components, exaggerated contraction. Deficient scar formation can lead to two types of complication. First one is wound dehiscence, that is most common after abdominal surgery, that is mainly coughing and vomiting. Ulceration, defect in the continuity. Thank you.